Thank you. 3 days ago, I delivered this message at the Loss and Damage Conference in Scotland, and I will continue to deliver the same to political leaders in Europe in the next 2 weeks before taking it to the heart of COP27 next month. It breaks my heart to see that people who are least responsible for the climate crisis are bearing the biggest brunt. And it breaks my heart to witness the devastating loss and damage that is happening right now. In less than a month's time, COP27 will take place in Africa, and the outcome must mirror the continent's needs. Loss and damage is very obviously becoming the priority and defining issue for COP27. We cannot accept our leaders talking and delaying in comfortable beachside hotels while 22 million people face starvation on the very same landmass. At the opening ceremony of COP26, I asked world leaders to open their hearts. Together, we held a moment of compassionate silence for the billions of people who were not in that room, whose stories were not being heard, and whose suffering was not being felt. Perhaps we did find our common humanity in that moment, but it must have been fleeting. Because we left COP26 with nothing on loss and damage than a promise to have an annual dialogue confined to the June negotiations, which ministers and leaders never attend. We left COP26 with another year of broken promises on climate finance. We left COP26 still on course for 2.7 degrees of global warming, which will make large parts of my continent uninhabitable. It was heartbreaking, and it still is. Since then, I have been spending time with communities in my country, Kenya, who are severely affected by the nature, food, and hunger emergency caused by the devastating droughts across the Horn of Africa. Our natural ecosystems, our life support systems have been pushed beyond breaking point. People tell me the only thing left to lose is hope. Yet, wealthy countries with the greatest historical emissions are not acting fast enough to help frontline communities cope with the devastation they are facing. This is what climate injustice looks like. We cannot abandon frontline communities to their fate. That is why a few months ago, I launched a public campaign letter calling on leaders to help frontline communities by delivering loss and damage finance. The letter has now received over 100,000 signatures worldwide. I was compelled to write this letter after spending time with the people of Wajir County in the northeastern part of Kenya. During my time there, I understood and felt their human lived experience of the climate crisis. The terrifying levels of water and food insecurity, thousands of livestock dropping dead from dust and starvation, livestock which provide 80% of people's livelihoods. Young girls being pulled out of school because their families can no longer afford to pay school fees. Decimated wildlife populations. Babies struggling to stay alive because their hungry mothers cannot produce enough milk to feed them. It was heartbreaking, and it still is. I want COP27 to put justice at the very center of negotiations, and I know you can do so much more to help. Justice means delivering on promises that have been made and not met. It also means rich countries who have greatly profited at our expense, providing resources they promised back in 2009 so that countries like mine can develop in a just, sustainable, and resilient way. Justice also means being honest and taking responsibility. Justice means drastic emission cuts to reduce further loss and damage. And we know what we must do, including leaving fossil fuels in the ground and massively protecting ecosystems. Small island states raised the need to address loss and damage 30 years ago. That's 3 years before I was born. 30 years of climate inaction have led us to the scale of loss and damage we are experiencing today. It is time for our leaders to take responsibility for that inaction and pivot towards solidarity. In practical terms, that means finally establishing a loss and damage finance facility. We cannot accept another promise to just keep talking about it. This is not just about money, because money can never replace what the people I met in Wajir have already lost. This is about justice. We cannot afford to wait any longer. COP27 is our chance to bring justice to impacted communities through global solidarity and cooperation. COP27 is the African COP. The needs, voices, and priorities of African people need to be heard and taken seriously. I pray that we will be heard and taken seriously. Thank you.